another wonderful night. What's the field of finalists like this year?
The finalists are so enthralled by the evening. They've all had their day of interviews, but they're quite relaxed. We had a small function reception with them earlier this evening, and they were saying how they'd enjoyed the judging process. They said how the judges were all lovely to them.
That's nice.
Yeah, which is really good. And we've just got such an array of finalists this evening.
Yeah.
We've even got a lady who had a baby 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's amazing. Why is it important to single out excellent managers, do you think?
I think very rarely in today's fast-paced world do we actually acknowledge people for the great work they do. And I think leaders sometimes do need a bit of inspiration or motivation or some feedback to say that they're actually doing a good job.
Yeah.
I think that happens so rarely.
And I think that some people probably wouldn't even understand that they are exceptional managers because that's just what they do.
Yes, that's right, and that's what we find. So many of our finalists are very humble, and they just love what they do, and we've got a chance tonight to acknowledge them for what they do. And all our finalists are winners,
aren't they?
Yes,
Just wonderful people.
Yeah.
It's always a wonderful night. Thanks, Helen.
Thanks, Heather.
Dawid, thank you so much for being the best sponsor in the world. Why do you love AIM's Management Excellence Award?
Well, I mean, it's like I said, for us, leadership is a passion. It really, really is. And the environment that we're in, both economically and social, we really need people that's passionate about what they do and how they lead. This organisation drives that, feeds that, applauds that. There's nothing more we could want. So from our perspective, we feel we're feeding something back into the business community, and it's a great fit.
Why is it important to single out great managers, do you think?
Well, in times of crisis and times of good, those who lead sets the trend. I mean, I always feel a leader kind of feeds the fabric of society. And if you look at where we've gotten to as an economic environment and everything else, there's a lot of pressure on us. We need people that can take our people to new heights. Not just to get us out of some of the troubles we're facing, but people is our greatest asset. And we always say, your right people is the greatest asset you have for the business. I actually think right leaders is the greatest thing for the business. It not only impacts the people's families and those that's involved with what you do, but truly changes people's lives. And that's amazing.
The thing that I love about these awards is that every year the finalists come up and they don't even sort of realise that they're fabulous, and what they've been doing is really quite groundbreaking, and I think that's a really great thing about these awards. That these people are held up and then they realise that what they're doing is quite innovative.
Absolutely. And it's the humility of it that I love. It's everyday people getting up, going to work and actually impacting what their company does, what their staff do, and going home and not realising that today you're a superstar, you're a rock star. You're right, you look at their faces when you see them sitting here and there's so many of them uncomfortable with the process. And I love that. It's celebrating quality and humility that for me is just amazing.
And the thing that always gets me is that the continuing thread through each of the finalists is that they have done what works well with their staff. It's always that way up. They look at what their staff is good at and then they sort of go from there.
So it's very interesting. There was a study done in the States many, many years ago about what constitute great leaders. And great leaders versus good leaders never spoke about themselves. It was never I. It was always we. And great leaders always had a tendency to be deflecting honour and shine from themselves back onto their people. And I love the fact that out of Queensland, we can grab great leaders like that and go, are you sure you should be talking to me? You should be talking to my staff? That's fantastic. It really, really is.
All right, Dawid, thank you very much for your
Thank you for your time.
Have a great night.
Thank you. We'll see you later.
All right, Don Meij, Dominos Pizza, former winner. What's it like to come back and just be one of the crowd?
Oh, it's fantastic. And I was a judge today too, so it was fantastic. No, it's a quality program. It's a quality event. Power ladies like Carolyn Barker and Helen Brodie here. It's awesome. It's great.
That's what I always feel. The people in this room are just such groundbreakers, aren't they?
Oh, it is, and it's a vibrant part of Brisbane. I mean, this is a major event on Brisbane scale, Queensland scale, and I don't think you can get any more people in this room, from my understanding. So this is as big as it gets.
So what about the finalists this year?
Quality, really high quality people, and it's it is you get inspired by listening to their stories, and it makes it really hard because there's so many talented people. But no, look, it's a really high quality program, and just loving it.
So did you get some insight and go, that's a good idea, I'm going to do that?
I did, and so many times you're sitting there saying to yourself, oh my God, I've got to be writing down the notes that they're saying because there's so much great content, and you've got to be fair to the people that you're judging. But no, you do, you get inspired. People that are doing some pretty incredible things, you think, of course, what else can you do by thinking, oh, I want to do that, that's going to be great, that's a great idea.
So, in for a great night. Who have you got with you?
I've got my wife here, I'm with some of the other judges that are here, and some of my friends from the CEO Institute in Brisbane. So lots of mates, and I mean, you attend these and you run into people that you haven't seen in 6 months in Brisbane, and yeah, no, it's great.
All right, well, have a great night.
Thanks, Heather.